Hey, six penners, welcome to your maze scopes. All right, I'm gonna slow my roll down a lot here and start to help you by teaching as I go through what's going on inside of this month, because I am a big component of education and you understanding what it is that's going on here and why I'm saying the things that I'm saying, how to partner with numerology in a way that is more intimate to you and more in your control and your understanding. I'm not a fan of people telling me, believe this just because they're saying it. I like to research everything under the sun before I make a decision. So what I want you to do is figure out what your life path number is. And for those of you who know it, I still want you to do this math equation. So grab some paper right now and write down your day, month, and year of birth. And then in between each number, put a plus sign. Run it as a long math equation, and most of us will get a double-digit number, except for the little, our young 2000 kiddos that came in. I think it's through 2003. They ended up with a single digit. So run that as a long math equation, all right? Forgive me, it's allergy season. I can't sound pretty froggy. As most of us do right now. All right, so the two numbers that make up your life path number, those are really important that you know what they are, because they create the cohesive whole of how your life path number is experienced by you. And the arc that goes from the cardinal number 1 all the way through 9, each component, each number has a very specific life experience that it's connected to. And it also has a spiritual component to it. So there's two sides of each number. They're like people. And no two people are technically alike, but these are very distinct, beautiful, specific examples of the human experience, spiritual beings having a human experience, all right? So your life path is somewhere between 1 and 9. If you have a master number 11, still break that down to a single digit, or 22 or 33. Break it down to a single digit. 44 is there too, because those two numbers make up your experience of your life path. And I can tell you, I'm a 9 life path, and so the difference between my 9 and somebody else's 9, and how we move about in the world and what we're doing and how we're making our living, how we are in relationship, how we interact and do all the outer things in life, interplay, has a lot to do with those two numbers that make up your life path number. A 27-9 is very different than a 36-9. Vastly different, but the target is the same, all right? So as I talk about these numbers, what you're going to discover is that the information I'm giving you about your personal year that you're currently in right now, you can translate that over to learning about your life path number combinations. And this is just how I, this is how I want to do this. And so this is great, rather than having a massive series about the incredible oracle of numerology and how helpful it is. While I've been creating these videos, I'm having another download layer of data and threads and interconnections that I'm super excited about. I'm going to bring it to you today. And I've been studying this oracle for 35 years, something like that. Teaching it for 15, talking about it on my podcast channels, live radio, teaching forums, and I'm still learning. And I get excited about it because I'm a teacher, and I genuinely love people. I love people, and I want to help in any way I can. So, all right. So let's talk about now what's happening in May. Your number combination, your number sequence, and this is how I want you to start thinking about it. The 8 global year always is said first. We are in an 8 global year. So for you, what you would say, I am in an 8 global year. I am a 6 personal year. That's step 1. The month that I'm in is a 5. May is a 5. And then the very last number, and how you get that very last number, is you add your PIN, your personal year number, to the month. 6 plus 5 equals 11. 1 plus 1 equals 2. All right, so the sequence goes like this. I am in an 8 global year. All of us are. We all, the collective is in an 8 global year. 6, I'm in a 6 personal year. The outward terrain that I'm moving through is a 5. And my PIN experience is a 2. All right? So, how do we look at the movement through each month? How do we understand that? For me, it's like you have you have booked a year's journey of traveling the world, and every month you're going to drop into a new country and have the experience there, learn the language, eat the food, adhere to the laws. You need to adhere to the laws of each country that you visit. That's just the way it is in our world, and have learning experiences and that change your perspective and also inspire you for creative ideas. How you want to express yourself in the world or move in the world, what you want to do with your time, how you want to relate to people, how you are with yourself. You have a month there, and then you board the plane and you head off to the next country and the next country and the next country, and you visit 12 countries in 1 year, and you spend a month in that country and experience all the stuff. All right? So 6 pinners. Your pipeline to abundance and prosperity, every single time you go through this cycle and you hit your 6th personal year, you are always going to be in an 8 frequency. You always will. That's the cycle that you have. For me, I'm in a 5 pin right now, and I will always be in a 5 pin when I'm in an 8 global year. And we all want to take advantage of this next 3-year surge. And the reason is because 8 is about abundance and power and recognition and how we're making our money, how we are spending time in commerce in one way, shape, or form. It's the venture capitalist number, and we need to, for our own benefit, get into right relationship with that number. The higher spiritual law of that number is abundance for all, and that also includes you. So it's the concept of sharing. And there is a positive, really high vibrating frequency to the 8, and that people can tap into. And there is a very low vibrating frequency of the 8 that people also can tap into. The 8 isn't sitting there with an opinion. The 8 is simply there as an energy field that you get to utilize based on choice. All right? So the beginning of this surge for you specifically in your movement through the pins, you get to have the experience of utilizing the venue that will garner you abundance and prosperity, recognition, reward, power, is through what the 6 represents. So if the goal in a global year is something, whatever that number represents, the venue for you to utilize that, to access that, to actually have it become a thing, a real thing in your life, is through what your personal year number represents. All right, so 6. 6 is all about the visionary. And that is fantastic. 6 is connected to family, and being a leader in a family, and teaching by example. It is an incredibly intuitive number, and it has a thread of perfectionism woven through it, and oftentimes the struggle that people who have a 6 life path or are sitting in a 6 pin is to let go of perfectionism, to let go of the need to be perfect, and to let go of criticism and feeling like people are taking advantage of them. Ultimately, the higher spiritual law of the 6 frequency is that while perfectionism and the vision of the perfect can be seen, the beauty, the inherent beauty that is sitting in humanity is the imperfection of us. We're messy people. We're messy. I keep saying that, but we are. But we're beautifully messy. And most of us are trying to do the best that we have with what we have, with what we've got, If you put that next to the life path of any person that you have in your life that you care about, and you look at what that number combination is that makes up their life path, you begin to understand about relaxing around perfectionism, and having compassion and having understanding, a deeper knowingness that there is beauty in imperfection. And it's what, creates families and communities and businesses and, whatever makes up life. So So how do we get this? How do we understand the idea that your venue to this venture capitalist global energy that is all around us and tapping into the higher frequencies of that, you want to tap into the higher frequencies of the 6, which really is being of service to your community, whether, you know, family of choice, family of origin, both. Willingly offering to help, and with the ultimate goal of teaching others so that they can do it for themselves. And then at the end of the day, you know, you've empowered them too. I always see that the 6 energy as somebody in a community that people rely on and know is there no matter what. And that can be a heavy burden, you know, and the underbelly of that is flipping into, I feel like a doormat. People are taking advantage of me. And that's where, you know, you have to, you know, when to stop and let people try to do it on their own. And guess what? They might make mistakes. Relaxing around the mistakes, knowing that it takes time. It's a leader in community, whatever community that might be. If it's in business, if it's wherever. The choice for you, and I've written down just a couple of keywords that I just want to look at. Even though you could see the bigger picture, even though you can see something to full fruition, you practice patience, you practice forgiveness, and you simply allow your community or whoever you're working with to bumble along, and you're watching them do their best, right? Okay. And you forgive and you practice patience. Yes. And you release perfectionism, because there is actually, honestly, there's no such thing as perfect. It doesn't exist. What exists is beautiful, you know, discoveries in making mistakes or perceived mistakes. So visionary, yes, for sure. And having this service number that you're in and family number that you're in, every single time you hit this year of abundance, building prosperity, building power and recognition. It's the stuff that makes up you feeling really good about you living your life and what you're doing and how you're spending your time to bring in those resources. Yeah, being in right relationship, that's your goal. Now, breath. You're about ready to go into another country. I'm recording these before May hits. And what country are you going into for this next step on your journey as a 6 pinner? You're going into the realm of freedom. And this is pretty lovely for you, because the energy of 5 produces opportunities for us to explore and experience new things based on our own unique whatever we've dropped in. Also, what the 5 does is it gets us out of ruts. It like, this is a country that you don't understand the language, but you love the culture and you don't understand the culture because you've never experienced a culture like this. And this was a little surprise month that your friends sprung on you at the last minute. And so you had no idea where you were going. And so everything is new. It's familiar. Like, yes, there's people walking around and there's houses and there's restaurants, but all of it is new. The 5 energy is exciting in that way. It can also just kind of shake the tree a little bit in our foundations, but that's not necessarily what you've got going here. You don't have a 4 here, and you don't have a 1 here. You have the shaking the foundations in relationship, all right, because of that too, and we're going to get to that in just a second. So what I see a lot in May for all the pins, because all the pins have 2 things in common. All of us are wandering through this 8 global year cycle, and all of us are in this 5 May frequency, all right? We all share that. How it's piped and funneled the venue in order to achieve success, that's different. Now, those 2, you know, the pin and then what your pin experience is moving through the month, all right? What the 5 needs, however, in order to be emancipated and free to explore new things that are different than the usual that we experience in our lives. We go to work, we come home, we make dinner, we might watch a show, we might have dinner with friends, and then we go to bed, and then we go to work, and then maybe the weekend we have some plans, right? That's our routine. In May, the routine is still going on, and that's not all. And there's all these new experiences waiting to be explored, and also to create change. 5 is there to shake up the tree. And wow, does it shake up the tree, all right? So, because your number is 2, and the 2 numbers that make that 2 are 1 plus 1, which is an 11, and that's a master number of the intuitive and the clairvoyant, the psychic pipeline. What this tells me is that your month in May, the add-on to what I just said about the 6-8 pipeline, the goal of prosperity, the venue is the leader in your community and the visionary, right? Who accepts the imperfect as perfect. Yep, little mind tease there. 2 is all about relating 1 to 1. It is the number after the number 1, which is independence and get out there and create something out of nothing. The 2 comes along and says, now we must relate to another person who had just had their 1 experience, and we got to figure out how to talk to each other. We must learn how to communicate and communicate effectively so that we understand. The 2 is all about interpersonal relationships. And so what I'm seeing here for you is basically a couple of things. There will be the need to talk to people who are, you guys probably have some conflict there. And it has probably been there for a while. And these are people that are your people. This is sitting inside of personal relationships, intimate relationships, and it's sitting over at work. So what do you do with, this? What do you do with this? You're like, okay, Chris, your 2 experience is there to not only get, have you integrate with the experience of getting better at communication and diplomacy and finding a middle ground and being the diplomat. You know, you could be brokering a pretty heated discussion anywhere. Families are messy, and sometimes work environments are messy, with two people who cannot seem to find the middle ground, or they are not getting along. This is common. Misunderstandings happen in our lives all the time. And it's because, I don't know, maybe the environment is really aggressive. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just a lack of clear understanding. Somebody is not understanding what the other person is saying. Maybe there's baggage attached to it, longevity attached to it. Usually there is. You, loves, how can you broker? You go, all right, put down the baseball bats. Put them down. Or put down the blame, shame, huck fest here. Stop. Everybody just stop. How are you going to find a way to communicate by, and find that space of, can we build something new? There's the 5 energy. Can we agree to try this? And also to stop throwing blame, shame, guilt, all that kind of stuff, which really, it just goes round and round and round and round and round. Yeah. Your bogey and your goal as your 6th personal year, with all the other stuff that you have going on, by the way. Work, we have a job. This is my job. This is where I spend my time. Teaching, talking, reading, healing, intuitive arts. It's my full-time job. And I also have my own personal directives that are not the same as yours that I am paying attention to. And your bogey this month, in order to get to new, in order to get to exciting, vibrant, this is the month that you've got the wind blowing at your back, pushing you forward to success, prosperity, that 8. And the way that you're going to do it this month, boots on the ground, is knowing that you are going to be in conversation with people where uber listening skills need to be on the table. And also paying attention to what isn't being said. Some you might know, some you might not know. But because that 11 frequency is there, you are going to know stuff you shouldn't know. It's the psychic number. My chart is loaded with 11s. And so you just get the downloads, stuff that you're not supposed to know because nobody told you. No reason, no rhyme to it. And then you put this into a very sit back, the leader of the community, and you logical eyes your way through it because it isn't personal. You might feel that it's personal and you might say, oh, wow, this is all about me. I'm getting attacked. Don't go there, because the blame and the shame and the guilting, that is not the higher emancipated spiritual laws and energy of the 2. The 2 is adept at being able to, it's so uncomfortable, but to sit in discomfort and know that the discomfort is simply here because there's misunderstanding, and possibly somebody here might feel completely taken advantage of. They might be completely taken advantage of. any of the information that's coming in might not be heard, the feeling like they're not being heard, hurt feelings, whatever is here, anger at something not going well at work, because somebody else didn't do the job that they were supposed to do. And now because of it, this person is really screwed and has to cancel that vacation, has to do the job that that person didn't do. And stuff like that, right? Conflict. The 2 has the ability to be non-biased. It honestly does. That the spiritual higher laws is cooperation, being cooperative, staying present, and also having balance. Balance meaning that you will do what you can, but this is not specifically intimate to you. You are trying to help. You are trying to help. You are trying to make this work better, whatever that means, all right? Because the balance of the 2 energy or the 11 energy is knowing when you need to step back, because, you know, that's a long enough session today. A lot of 2 life pathers are counselors and therapists. And what they know is that an hour is an hour, because nothing productive is going to happen after that. And we need time to incorporate and integrate with what we're talking about and what we're trying to fix, correct? Okay, so what I would say is that for the 5 energy that you're moving through of new freedom through discipline, you know, you need that structure in order to be free. To know that your experience in May of negotiating, being the diplomat, talking things through or getting other people to talk things through. This is your next journey as we lead in your 6th personal year that is supportive of your relationship, your success with prosperity. Okay? Does that make sense, you guys? I hope that makes sense. And then next month, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to give you your numbers next month. And it's easy to do, and you guys will get here and you'll be able to do this yourselves as well. The 8th global year, your 6th pin is moving through the 8th global year. Those 2 aren't going to change for the entire year. June is the 6th month. And so then you take 6 plus 6 equals 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So next month, your numbers are 8663. And that means you're going to be in another country with different languages, different rules, different foods, different things to do. So this month is a 5-2 for you. And it all pipes into, I love the 6. By the way, I love community and I love helping my community. I love that I can be relied on. To people know in my community, you know, if they need me, I'm here. They know that. And that, what is that? That is that you're reliable, you're dependable, your life speaks volumes, way ahead of you showing up, and how you know who you are, how you are. There's a stable foundation that is the girdle to the 6 of that, you know? Yeah. So I will just say lots of fun, lots of play, lots of times in for the 6th personal year in this month of May. There's marriages, there could be a funeral in there, there could be engagements, there could be a baby. It is all about celebration of community and new events. 5 means new, and shaking up the tree and getting a little freedom and a little breath of fresh air, because life would be so boring if things didn't change, right? And that's what the 5 represents. So you guys, I hope you like this new form. It's obviously a longer recording, but I feel a lot better being able to teach in this way, and so you guys can learn about this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you hit that button, and then it gives you an update of when I have new videos out. If you have any questions, post in the comment section, or if you have ideas, or if you just want to give me a shout out, I would love that. All right, you guys, good luck. And if you ever need to speak to me, the link to where I work full-time, I work there 7 days a week. I have for almost 15 years now. It's my family of choice, my home away from home, 1-2 listen. I'm usually there most days. All right, big love, everyone, and until your next month's scope, go forth and prosper and stay open to learning about this beautiful art form of communication. All right.